Okay, so we've solved the white cross, and we've solved the middle layer. I re-scrambled this one from the last video just to make it look a little different. But now my next goal is to get this right here, what's called the the yellow cross. So I'm again working with white on the bottom, and I'm going to spend the rest of my time solving the cube focused on this face right here, getting everything lined up. And so just like with the white, the first step is to get the cross in place. And at this point, we don't care if these edge pieces are in the right spot. We just want it to literally look like a plus sign or a cross. And so what we have now is a little bit more complicated of a situation. Sometimes when you solve the middle layer, you already have the cross in place. In this case, as you can see, I don't. And so depending on the state of the cube I'm in, like if I'm in this first state they describe as state 1, I've done that already. I've already met the goal. But state 2 is just one yellow piece in the center, just the yellow center, but nothing else special. This state here is if you have what they're calling state 3. I'm sorry, I'm blocking with the cube. That's this one right here. And that's where I've got that situation. Then I'll follow these moves. If I happen to have the state where I've got a gold bar right down the center like this, then it's a slightly different sequence of moves. But what you'll notice is the state, these first two, it's exactly the same sequence, regardless of what state you're in. So I'm not quite sure why they made it seem like they were different, because you do the same thing. What I've started doing is trying to memorize these steps using mnemonics. I've memorized this particular step as if I'm in state 1 or 2 or 3, sorry, state 2 or 3, I think of it as fur, earth, so front, upper, right, and then U, R, F. But I just have to know there's some symmetry to this, right? This is all, the first 3 are all clockwise moves, and then these are counterclockwise, as long as you remember that they're counterclockwise. You know, whatever works. So I'm in this state described by state 3, so I'm going to, it'll sometimes take a few repetitions to get this, but I'm going to do exactly what it says. F, U, R, and then U, R, F, but inverse. Okay, now I got really lucky because sometimes it doesn't always happen on the first try, but it did. If I had this, like I said, this other state, you'll notice it's very similar. It's just that it's still the same 6 moves, but in a slightly different sequence. So I've got, now that is solving the yellow cross.